Hey everyone, welcome back to Angie's Corner. In today's video, I will be showing you how to crochet this mesh bag. This one I did with Karen coconut flakes, and as you can see, it has these little fluffies on the outside edges, but for this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make the one in the thumbnail. So without further ado, let's get started. For the materials, you will need any type of yarn that you would like. I'm using the Hobby Lobby yarn. I love this yarn. And then we're also going to need a 4mm crochet hook, some scissors, a tapestry needle, and some stitch markers. To start, we're going to make a slip knot. Tighten it, and then we're going to chain 40. After you've chained 40, we're going to count from our hook. So here we have our first stitch, the second one, and then we're going to go into the third one, and we're going to make a double crochet in the third chain from the hook. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook through that stitch, pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Here we have our double crochet. Now we're going to do 4 more, so in total we should have 5. Now we're all doing this in the same exact stitch. Now for our 6th double crochet, we're going to separate the chain and the first double crochet, and we should have a little space in there. Make sure you have 5 double crochets, and now we're going to insert our hook into that space and make our 6th double crochet. In total, you should have 6 double crochets all around. Now we're going to look closely here, and we want to make sure we put our hook in the right stitch. So we're going to make a double crochet right after that 6th double crochet, and we're going to put it in the next stitch. And now we're just going to be double crocheting all across the row until we get to the end. Now for the end here, we're also going to do 6 double crochets, just like we did on the other side. So we're going to make 5 double crochets, and then I'll show you what to do with the 6th one. So here we have 5 double crochets, and we're going to separate the first double crochet and the 2nd double crochet and make our 6th double crochet in that space. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And as you can see, it closes up the hole. And now you also want to make sure you don't want to put your double crochet in that stitch. We're actually going to move over our 6th double crochet, and our stitch should be right there. That stitch after the 6th double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook through there. It might be a little bit hard, but we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through the rest. And it should align with the first double crochet. So now we're just going to be doing double crochets along the row until we get to the end. Once we're at the end, you can see we have our chain here, and you can see where chain is coming from that stitch right there. So we're going to insert our hook through that stitch and make our last double crochet in that stitch. Now we're going to be slip stitching at the top of our chain or our first double crochet. We're going to tighten our slip stitch, and here we have our first row for our base. To start our second row, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to insert our double crochet into that same stitch as the chain. So we're going to make our first double crochet, and then we want to do an increase, so we're going to put another double crochet in the exact same stitch. Now we're going to do this 5 more times, so we're going to do an increase in every single stitch with double crochets. Here we have our 6 increases, and it should kind of look like a rainbow, and it should align at the bottom here. Now we're going to be doing 38 double crochets all along the row. Once we get to the end, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on the other side, and we're going to be doing 6 increases into each of those 6 double crochets. So again, an increase is just 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Once we have our 6 increases, it should also kind of make a rainbow shape and a line at the bottom. Now we're just going to be doing 38 double crochets along the row until we get to the end. So we're finishing up the row here. We just need 1 more double crochet in that stitch. Now we're going to make a slip stitch in that stitch right there after our chain 2. We're going to tighten our slip stitch, and here we have our second row done. For the next row, we're going to chain 2, and this time we're not going to be doing 6 increases, we're going to be doing 1 double crochet, and then an increase in the second stitch. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around 6 times. After we did 1 double crochet and 1 increase, we also should have a little rainbow shape, and it should also align. And now we're just going to be doing 38 double crochets all across the row. Once we have our 38 double crochets, we're going to do the same pattern that we did on the other side. So 1 double crochet and 1 increase 6 times, and then 38 double crochets. And once we have our 38 double crochets, we're going to slip stitch in the top of the chain, or our first double crochet. Tighten your slip stitch, and here we have our third row done. For our last row of the base, we're going to chain 2, insert our hook in that same stitch and make a double crochet, and then also make a double crochet in the second stitch. But in the third one, we're going to be doing an increase. So that's going to be our pattern, and we're going to repeat that 6 times around. And once we have that done, we're going to do 38 double crochets along the row. Now we're just going to repeat the pattern that we did in the beginning. So 1 double crochet, another double crochet, and then an increase, and do that 6 times around. After you're done with that, we're going to be doing 38 double crochets all the way to the end. And then at the end, we're going to be doing a slip stitch in that first double crochet. Tighten your slip stitch, and here we are done with the base, and now we're going to be starting on the body. To start the body, we're going to chain 4, and we're going to skip that stitch that our chain is coming from, and also skip the next stitch, and in the third stitch we're going to make a double crochet. So our chain counts as a double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip a stitch and make a double crochet in the next one. Then chain 1 again, skip a stitch, and insert our hook into the next one and make a double crochet and chain 1. And we're going to repeat that pattern around the bag until we've reached the beginning. Once we've reached the end, we can see our last double crochet. So we're going to chain 1. You could do this the regular way and just insert your hook into the back loop of the chain, but I do this a little bit differently. First, I insert my hook into the front loop, and then I kind of push down the back bump of the chain and insert my hook into both of those stitches, the front loop and the back. And as you can see, I have a back bump on my hook as well. And that's how I slip stitch for most of my projects. Now we're going to be starting the next row. So for the next row, we're going to chain 4 again. Then we're going to double crochet in the double crochet stitch in the previous round. Then chain 1, skip the chain in the previous round, and make a double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1 again, and this is going to be our pattern for the whole entire bag. And at the end, we slip stitch into the chain. And we're going to do this until we have 20 rows in total. Alrighty, so here we have 20 rows starting from the base. And with the base, it adds 4 more rows. So in total, for the whole bag, you should have 24 rows. Now we're going to be working on the straps. We're going to start off by chaining 2. So 1 and 2. Now we're going to go into this double crochet right here. So as you can see, since we only chained 2, it kind of creates this V shape. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to insert our hook into the double crochet stitch in the previous round and make a double crochet and chain 1 again. And we're going to repeat this pattern like we did in the body portion of the bag around until we have 16 of these double crochet posts, not counting the chain that we did in the beginning. Once we're at the end of our round, we should have a double crochet and a chain 1, and we're going to insert our hook into the next double crochet stitch, pull through 2, but don't pull through the last 2. Then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We should have 3 loops on our hook, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of them. And we should have that same V shape like we did in the beginning. For the next round, we're going to chain 2 again. We're going to turn our work, and then for the second round, we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into the double crochet stitch. We're not going to insert our hook into the double crochet stitch where the chain is because we want to create that V shape again. Then we're going to chain 1 and make a double crochet, and we're going to keep repeating this pattern until we have 2 double crochets with our chain. Once we have our 2 double crochets left with our chain, we're going to make a double crochet, insert our hook, but only pull through 2 loops and leave the 2 loops on the hook, and do that same thing again. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and then for the last step we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops, and that should create that diagonal look. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn our work, and then we're going to keep repeating this pattern for 2 more rows until we have 4 decreased rows in total. Okay, so here I've finished the 4th row, and we should have 4 rows in total. So here's the row of our body part of the bag. Then we have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and 4 rows. And now we're not going to be decreasing anymore, we're just going to keep going in rows. So we're going to chain 4 this time, like we did with the body portion of the bag. We're going to turn our work, and we're not going to go into that stitch. We're going to go into the next one and make a double crochet. So our chain 4 counts as a double crochet stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to keep repeating this pattern until we have 10 double crochet posts in total with our chain. Once we're at the end of our row, we're going to chain 4 again and turn our work. And we're going to keep repeating that pattern until we just have the chain 4 left. Once we have just our chain 4 left, we're going to do the same method that we did in the body of the bag with the slip stitching method. That's what we're going to do, except we're not going to slip stitch, we're going to double crochet into that chain stitch. Then we're going to chain 4 again, and we're going to repeat this pattern until we have 13 rows in total, not counting the decreased rows. Once you have finished the first strap, you should have 13 in total, not counting those decreased rows. Now we're just going to chain 1 and cut off our yarn. Now we're going to be crocheting the second strap. So we're going to count 12 double crochets in between both those straps, not counting that chain. And in the 13th double crochet, that's where we're going to be starting our second strap. We're going to take one of our stitch markers and mark that stitch. Now we're going to flip our project, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You can see here we did our chain, and we're not going to count that double crochet. We're going to start the next one and count 12 double crochets and mark your stitch marker in the 13th double crochet. Now we're going to be starting our second strap. So we're going to start off with a slip knot. And we're not going to tighten it too much, just leave it a little bit looser on your hook. And we're going to insert it where our stitch marker is. And then just make a slip knot. Then we're going to chain 2 like we did for the other strap. And we're going to go into the next double crochet stitch and make a double crochet, chain 1, and then make a double crochet, chain 1, And we're going to keep repeating this pattern until we reach 1 double crochet before the stitch marker. Once we have reached those 2 double crochets, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're not going to pull through those last 2 loops. We're going to insert our hook into the stitch marker space, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And then we're going to make a double crochet into the double crochet stitch in the previous round, chain 1, and now you can remove those 2 stitch markers. Now we're going to do the same pattern that we did for that row until we have 2 double crochets left. Once we're at the end, we have these 2 double crochet posts and the chain, and we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to do the same thing for the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now we're going to be doing the same thing that we did for the first strap, the 4 decrease rows and then the additional 13 rows, but don't fasten off. Now we're going to be outlining the bag with single crochets. To start, we're going to do a single crochet in that double crochet post, and then we're going to do 1 more in that exact same stitch. Now we're going to move on to the next double crochet post and do 2 single crochets in that one as well, and keep going until you've reached the other strap. Once we've reached the end, we can see we have 2 chains right here. The first chain counts as a chain space, and the second one counts as our double crochet. So we're going to insert our hook into the back loop of our double crochet. And then for the second strap, we can see here we have our double crochet, our 2 single crochets on here, and we're going to insert our hook, not into the chain space, but into the second one. Now we're going to just yarn over and make a slip stitch. Then we're going to go into the back loop of our chain space and the front loop of our other chain space and make a slip stitch as well. Now we're going to go into our double crochet, into the back loop, and then into the front loop of the other strap, make a slip stitch, and we're just going to keep doing that until we reach the end. Here I finished slip stitching all the way across, and as you can see, both of our straps are connected now. Now we're going to be doing the same thing that we did on the other side, 2 single crochets in each of the double crochet posts. And I have my ends here, but I'm going to crochet over them to make it easier for me. Once we reach the other side, as you can see, we did our 2 single crochets in our last post, and you can see our other 2 single crochets on the other side of the strap. And we're going to go into the first single crochet stitch and make a slip stitch. Now we can fasten off, so I'm going to chain 1 and then cut off my yarn. Now I'm going to weave in all of my ends and I'll come back with the complete bag. And there you have it, we crocheted ourselves a cute little mesh bag. I really hope you liked this video. Make sure to subscribe to see more tutorials. I will be posting a lot more. I hope your bag turned out just as cute and you can maybe use it in your daily life. I hope you enjoy your bag and I will see you guys next time. Bye!